look at, when you have your best judgment, how we could better serve, when I see the average age of 61 years old, I see, as you said, third female, two-thirds are male. How can we get to a point, service accounting, before they get these folks, so we can resolve some of the issues that these folks have? Or are they not resolvable, or is it just something that we're gonna sustain? Because we multiply this by all counties and across the country, this is a tremendous needy population that continues to age, and staying stable is not the answer. It's not a criticism of you. But what do we need, kind of jumping off of the meeting thing, what do we need as a culture, as a society, to fix some of this, so a person 61 years old doesn't get to this point in time?
Well, I think that is a very loaded question. So,
It is, just like the child care was too, would you fix that?
I will take a stab at it. The funding sources for veteran services is very different from how the funding sources are with child care. So it's two different, they're both fruit, but they are two different kinds of fruit. And so I would say that, veteran services is funded strictly by the county. And although the number of people who are being seen may appear to be flat and are the same year over year, doesn't mean that it's the same people who are reporting at the time. The veterans population is a transient group of people oftentimes, and people move from one place to the other. So one person may be in Jacksonville next week, and they may be here, and they may be in the Virginia Beach area. It kind of is the nature of the work, if you will. It's, in my opinion, and I will not say that I'm an expert on veteran services, but what I do know about social populations is that this population is very similar to the homeless population. And so there's a good deal of churn. There's not a one-size-fits-all fix. The key is to have the services that they need when they come and be able to deliver when they come and ask for them, or when we find someone who needs them. The kiss of death is not to be able to give them what they need when they come to asking for it, because they rarely ask.
I'm gonna chime in there, and I don't want us to confuse veteran services with Veterans Administration.
Yes, thank you.
Because they're two different entities.
Yes.
Not every county in our state offers a veteran services department. We're one of the few in our state that does, and we're really trying to connect resources to the veterans.
Yes,
And
and
we've got I'm a veteran, so, and I go to a lot of their functions, and recognize that they recognize what the county does for them, and they probably get more people coming in our referral based on the great work that Ellis and his team does to help connect them with resources. Anything from getting your DD 214, which I lost mine, but I could walk into Ellis' office and say, can you give me my DD 214, and they can make that happen for me. So those are some of the things that office does. And then they can also connect them with the veterans clinic, the super clinic that's here on 23rd Street. But I don't want us to confuse veteran services with the VA, because they're two totally different entities. And the VA is what I think not helping our folks. It's not what we're doing in the United States. It's two different agencies.
Right. Thank you. So, dovetailing with what Mr. Parker was saying, the Veteran Service Office acts as the nexus to services. And so he's knowledgeable, his job is to have the resources. If he doesn't have the resource in the community, he knows how to garner it, or he knows how to ask somebody who does know it. Because the budget doesn't allow for us to necessarily provide that hard good. But there's plenty of organizations that do, so they really work together. He works with the other agencies to collaborate to do those things that we cannot do or we're not assigned to do. Certainly, there's always more that could be done, so I definitely agree with what you're saying in that regard. Mr. Penny and I are actually doing a lot of brainstorming to see how can more light and depth to, well, report out for who, what we're actually doing, how do we report out, so that you understand it in a better way. And so I will take what you said to heart and.
It's not criticism, but as we go through careers, sometimes there are things that we should make sure they continue to gnaw at us so that we say, how do you fix some of these things? There's no quick explain on that, but it's something like that. You know, I look at my health shop in my financial time here, and just one of those areas that somehow, again, as a group, as a society, can also, how do we fix some of these things with these needy veterans? That's all, I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Chime in again. I think that what us does is fix it. You know, I've got a good friend of mine who didn't realize he had access to money because he served in Vietnam. I think he got connected with almost $40,000 in a check. But it's connecting people with resources and explaining to them how you get from point A to point B. So I think he's in the problem solving mode as opposed to, so those folks who come in there to get those kind of answers and resources. But from a county standpoint, there is not a budget to say we're gonna write you a check for X, Y, Z, but I can show you where that check went out. And that's what happens. Again, I just want us to confuse this with being, it's two different things. And we're always gonna have folks come in and ask you questions on how can I get X, Y, and Z.
And we do collaborate, we attend those, the veterans service stand down, that's coming up next month. We will be there and, we will have staff for, DSS services for the day next day and available to, provide resources. And I think it's those guys, those men and women, those people, who, it's a little trickier, those are the ones that we really see, he seems to be suffering and needs greater assistance. And we're getting at that the best way we know how, and as soon as we have a new opportunity or run across another opportunity that can be more assistance, we can definitely take, or consider it and present.
Good morning. You received in your packet the summary financial information. I see it there on the front and several people. There's nothing here that we're presenting that's other than business as usual. We're where we would expect to be, as we've said every month, we're monitoring it. What I will say, where you see a few things that might look a little, maybe give you some concern, where emergency assistance, we're spending at 72% of the year, we're budgeted in the 60% range. And, in child welfare, we work with budget, as we've said we were going to do, we work with them, and there's an adjustment in our March that you'll see reflected when you see your March report, to make sure we cover our anticipated foster care expenditures as well as our, special assistance expenditures that we see that may be running a little bit higher. We've talked about those for a number of months now. In addition, it has not come up this morning, but you have heard that we have, ESSA, and forgive me, I'm not gonna be able to give you what that acronym stands for, but transportation for our foster care
Every
children.
student success act.
Transportation for our foster children who may be going to be able to stay in the school that they are in instead of being moved around just because their foster home may be in another district. We've also covered our anticipated cost of that with this budget amendment. It's been able to be done internally within the department, so we are pleased you won't see anything from the commissioner level for, H1 dollars you're sharing with them. Did anybody have any questions on what this is?
I did notice, looking at, I guess the foster care PCN and recognizing that we've got more kids in the custody than we probably anticipated. And it looks like it might be a trend, so I would assume that we would make sure that in next year's budget that we may adjust that number a little more.
Yes, indeed. Should be reflected in the budget that you see
Prevention Month proclamation.
Someone like to read the proclamation, and what I will share with you is that we have it scheduled for the April 3rd commissioners meeting, to be on your agenda. So is there, I'll leave that up to you. Great, thank you.
Child Abuse Prevention Month, April 2017. Whereas children are vital to our state's future success, prosperity, and quality of life, as well as being our most vulnerable assets. Whereas all children deserve to have safe, stable, nurturing, and healthy homes and communities that foster their well-being. Whereas child abuse and neglect is a public responsibility affecting both the current and future quality of life of a state. Whereas parents need support and resources to help cope with stress and nurture their children to grow in their full potential. Whereas effective child abuse prevention strategies succeed because of partnerships created among citizens, human service agencies, schools, faith communities, healthcare providers, civic organizations, law enforcement agencies, and the business community. Whereas New Hanover County is committed to preventing child abuse and calls upon the citizens from all walks of life to increase their participation in efforts to support families and thereby prevent child abuse and strengthen communities. Therefore, be it resolved that the New Hanover County Board of Commissioners proclaim the month of April 2017 as Child Abuse Prevention Month and call upon all citizens, community agencies, father groups, medical facilities, community leaders, and businesses to increase their participation in our efforts to support families, thereby preventing child abuse and strengthening the community in which we live. Adopted this day, April 2017.
Motion to approve the proclamation. Motion from Mr. Ringo, I'll second that. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you so very much.
I will, send out, we are working on several events in April as far as recognizing child abuse prevention. I'll send those dates to you. April 26th. All right, you want to stand up and share that with us?
Our annual flower launch is scheduled for April 26th. That's the event that takes place down at the dock of the old, where the Henrietta used to be, not there anymore. That celebrates folks that work to protect children.
We'll do that, then we'll roll over to the Stellar Awards event as well, same evening.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is,
Yep, same time last year as well.
we're doing really good. We're keeping that consistent. Thank you all.
Next, we'll discuss our in-home aid program policy.
We, had our audit in January, which we, had no, findings, which was wonderful, but they did, recognize that though our policy had been approved by the board several years ago, it was not signed by the director and the board chairman at the time. So that is all we are here to do today. No changes in the policy when we had, such a
One more question. I noticed that, you have a, training, orientation for in-home aides. Am I correct, that one assumption that in-home aides can be hired on a rolling basis? That they're not hired all at once, they're being hired over the course of a year?
No, these are county employees.
But are they county employees that are hired on a rolling basis?
No, they're permanent positions.
But they don't come in all at the same time?
I'm not sure.
They all hired in September, they're not all
We have
hired.
7, in-home aid positions.
Okay, so they're not
some that are here like 20 years.
How we meet the 14-day requirement, I guess they're all done at the same time, or,
Yeah, as we get new employees, then we go through that training process.
okay, so you repeat it.
Yes,
Okay.
and then they have annual training hours they get each year.
Thank you.
So you just need us to sign that?
Is this the one,
Yes. That won't be the one they sign, we should have one that doesn't have, it's just got it right there. You see it there?
We'll bring you one, we can bring you a fresh copy without holes punched in it.
yeah. All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
In our social service annual report. Soon we'll be working on that here, either prepared to the commissioners in April or May.
Prepare this, you guys approve it.
And this year I had some assistance, new community outreach person, Katie Murphy, so, well, I'll take the whole credit this year by myself.
And may I just say, as you're saying that, so Kate, stand up. So Kate is a direct report to me, and I am so excited, because this position was open for a little while. Kate will be wearing many hats, and one of them is our community services coordinator. So she will be our media liaison, and she stepped right in. She comes to us from the Department of Health and Human Services, where she served as the senior manager for media relations. And so we were so excited to have her, we put her to work right away, and very pleased to have someone who kind of has that technical ability. Her other duties include working with the facilities, working with our our records management, and we are just so pleased to have her. And we're also glad because we feel like we're gonna be able to put out more information, and quality information as we move forward.
You can do me one favor in next year's report. The graph, it would be great to show the breakdown of where services are provided. We talked about that before in terms of the greatest portion of what we do is working with child protective services. And I think it would help the community understand that it's not all about food stamps, but it's really about our vulnerable and our children. I know we got the pie chart showing the economic impact of the program, but I think it's telling the other piece of the story about who we're serving. We go along with it as well.
Next year, this year.
Would you like us to do it this year?
That'd be great.
Yeah, this is why we're having this conversation, we can modify that.
That'd be great.
Well, if we're talking about this year, I think it's tremendous in terms of promoting what we do and how well we've done. However, those areas, for example, low-income assistance program, I ask you a question because 2,832 recipients doesn't tell the story. And I think we need to take those opportunities to focus on, with a little bit of vigilance, for example, primarily elderly and disabled. That touches a nerve when people read this. When we talk about cuts, we don't allow that particular cut. When we talk about average age of our veterans, 61 years old, and we talk about, we speculate a little bit in terms of Medicaid, even in terms of possibilities for affected groups that could be hurt if we don't continue with Medicaid expansion or assistance. I think we should be taking the opportunity, just like a
a corporate report, we talk about all the good things, we don't talk about all the things that we're looking for. Not a lot of them. We have some of these areas that could be vulnerable, and I would like to see us, just like I said, elderly and disabled, primarily sickness and leave. Veteran services, the amount of people that we service, average age. Because a lot of people have misperceptions, just like Jonathan said, they think it's all about food stamps and whatever. It's not, it goes much deeper.
Yes, ma'am. Like you wanna say something down there? Any other comments? So I guess you can bring this back to us next month. And feel free to make any other tweaks that you wanna make as well. But piggyback on Mr. Rico, you know, the president's proposed budget, Meals on Wheels will be cut as well. It seems like a lot of the programs that affect those that can least afford to be affected will be affected by this program. It's amazing. We're talking about Obamacare. We got folks on the news saying, it's great, we're getting rid of Obamacare, I have the Affordable Care Act. I realize that they're both one and the same. And so many folks are so misinformed on what's what. So the more we can do to explain to the public what we do, I think it will help protect those who most vulnerable as well.
Meals on Wheels, golf and marijuana would be a great chart. Don't do that.
Any other comments?
Okay, so y'all know we don't do Meals on Wheels.
You
I know that, I'm using that as kind of
Okay,
an
not what you
analogy.
said,
Yeah,
if you said
that-
compare it, we don't wanna.
Yeah, that's the
mix
Senior
that.
Resource Center, which is
Right.
another service from the county.
Yes.
That kind of piggybacks on what we do.
That would have an impact on adult services as well.
So we'll probably have an impact on FNS or SNAP as
Yes,
well.
everything, it was across.
Thank you.
Mayor, since we created this, grant with the numbers here, just a question about that. I think what you're asking for is in place of this one to have, or in addition to
Yeah.
it,
So in addition,
to have the one very similar to what we, or the one that we have in the budget, that shows by type of service,
Exactly.
type of service, okay, just wanted to be clear that's,
Exactly.
okay, good.
So not to substitute, but addition.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, director's comments? Next month, we'll talk about our community child protection team, we'll have their annual report. And where the foster care awareness population. And at this time, it's time for our director's comments.
Okay. So bear with me, it's been a busy month, and I have been to Medicaid convening, directors meeting, Eastern Regional, I've been rolling, and wanted to make sure, that I shared that information with you all. So, wanted to acknowledge, it was not said yet, I'm sure everybody knows it, but for those who don't, and for it to be reinforced, that this month is National Social Work Month. So can we give our social workers a round? Not many left in the room, but earlier we did have quite a few. And we will be having a celebration at the end of the month, how our timing worked out. And so we are so thankful for all our social workers, and we do want to, every opportunity we get, to let them know that we do appreciate them. So one of the things that is happening that we are really excited about is that the county, our media, public relations department asked if they could do a story on our social workers. And so they said, yeah, let's get a CPS social worker and we'll do it. And it's coming, I'm not sure of the date, but I'm excited. And so Mark Boyer worked on getting, and I'm sure it's going to be a wonderful, I'm in anticipation, looking forward to seeing it. And I said, but you know, we don't only take care of the children, we also have adult services. And adult services social workers, so could you do two? And he agreed to do that, so we are excited. We selected to social workers. There's going to be live, I don't know how long the clip is going to be, but we are really excited about that, and we'll let you know when it comes out. Wanted to also say that Smart Start is having their annual pledge breakfast next Tuesday, the 28th, and I'm trying to get a table, and I think I sent something out to you all. So if you would be interested, next Tuesday morning, please let me know. I can give them a final count because I have that board meeting tonight. In my director's report, I mentioned that I would give you some highlights from the medical convening, and I wanted to do that. I'm just a little reluctant as we speak now because a lot of that has changed since a few weeks ago, but I'll mention a few things that did occur. So the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners sponsored this, got together with the county managers, state leadership, as well as DSS directors and their management teams to have this convening on March 2nd, and it was incredible. They had representatives from our state representatives, we had our state DSS director, we had quite a few of our, again, county managers, DSS personnel. We even had Brian Bowden. He was Skyped in, and he is the NATO Associate Legislative Director, and he was Skyped in for a segment just sharing all the different things that are going on. All of the conversation pretty much was around where we are as far as our numbers with DSS as it relates to food stamps and Medicaid. And basically what they did was kind of give a history and a timeline of where we were over the last 5 years and where we are now. Talked about accuracy and timeliness and the Affordable Care Act, where we were when it started, and the focus of the conversation was pretty much on how it is in flux now, and we're just waiting to hear what's going to be happening. And as a result of that, what's happening as far as if the federal government chooses to fund Medicare through some kind of block grant, and how devastating the potential is for many of the states, but particularly for North Carolina. So that just waits, we just wait and see kind of what we're going to do with that. So again, a lot of it is a moving target, the information we're still waiting for, but it really was a great conference. Me and Janice went, and we had a representative from the county manager's office, Jennifer Rigby. We sat together, we heard some wonderful information. She was really impressed to learn exactly what's going on with DSS, as were a lot of the people in the audience who don't get to get that kind of detail on a regular basis. So, some of this will also be covered in some of the other things that I'm going to report. So we also have updates and articles of interest that were sent after we sent out the information to you. And so one is opioid treatment and the comments from our new state secretary of DHHS. Her name, as I mentioned, when she came aboard, I told you all she was coming, and her name is Dr. Mandy Cohen. And she's made tackling the opioid addiction in our state a top priority for the department. Earlier this month, she sent letters to doctors in the state asking them to take steps to prevent patient abuse of prescription drugs. Our Governor Roy Cooper's budget also directs $12 million in community mental health funding toward addiction treatment. So that was one of the things that was also mentioned during the meeting, was that the upcoming budget was going to include additional funds to try to address this concern that we have throughout the state of North Carolina as well as the nation. Republican legislators filed a bill which Democratic Attorney General Josh Stein supports that would take a multi-pronged approach to stemming opioid abuse and spend $multi-million over the next 2 years on community-based drug treatment. So I wanted to share that with you. Dr. Coleman says she sees this as a challenge. The legislature built in a several-year lag before the state's regional mental health system is integrated with the physical health program. And she says that general health care has advanced with the use of electronic records to track quality, and the mental health system hasn't kept pace. There's a universal consensus on everyone being frustrated with the current system. So she says, in addition to that, there's not a consensus on what we do next. So until we can address mental health reform and tie it to physical health and work those things together, we're going to continue to have the challenges that we have with opioid and heroin and other substance abuse issues that we do have. And it is not a pretty picture. And of course, our challenge, as Mr. Rinko was talking about, is that we are really faced with increased children who we are taking into custody as a result of this, as well as other challenges in our community. And something has to be done. So it's really great news to hear that she is working on that. There is also a new law on youth suicide that I was so happy to hear about. A newly proposed law would ensure that teachers and other employees at every school could spot warning signs that a child is seriously contemplating suicide. In North Carolina, 15.9% of high school students seriously considered suicide in the previous 12 months. That's just an astounding statistic, but we know it's very real. According to the 2015 Youth Risk Behaviors Survey. And so legislators have joined together to write a prevention bill that would require basic training in suicide awareness for all school personnel, teachers, teachers' assistants, bus drivers, cafeteria workers, the janitorial staff, media coordinators, the coaches, administrators, school resource officers, school nurses, school social workers, psychologists, and counselors. And so Avril has been working at the county level along with DSS and mental health and public health about concerns that we have with our youth who are in school and how we are meeting their psychological and emotional needs. We certainly are concerned. It's beyond our purview to the extent that it is mental health. And so from the state level, what's it called? Mental Health 101 for suicide, what's that?
First aid.
Yeah, mental health first aid is being pushed out to mental health, social services, other community, just trying to address this. They have a whole component for youth because this is a serious matter. And we are just excited to know that the school is going to be required to begin to address this. Sometimes that's where, for those of us who were at the Child Welfare Summit, learned last year, and Dr. Holliday stood up, and he said, we see it all first. Because they're at school every day. And so now we need to know not only do you see it, but what are you going to be doing about it? And how you're going to, we have to work together to make the referrals to every resource that is available, working together to make sure that these needs of our children are being addressed. So as I mentioned, the Child Welfare Summit, wanted to just mention that was held last week at UNCW, and it was sponsored by the Casey Family Program. And we began discussions on taking action on child safety and child welfare. In attendance was our very own chair, Commissioner Barfield, our vice chair, Andy Rinka, Avril Penda, Wanda and her staff, Janice attended. We had Representative Deb Butler. We had our state chief of children's services, Kevin Kelly, who came from Raleigh. We had our own local representative in children's services, Agenda Turner. I mentioned Dr. Holliday was there. We had some members from the hospital. We had some more of our staff, of course. We had law enforcement, health professionals. UNC was there for their Health and Human Services program. SAS was there. Duke Endowment was there. And most precious was a foster care youth who told his story, gave his testimony and recommendations on what we could do to help our youth, particularly those that are in transition, that 15 to 18 and now 21 group, and it was pretty powerful. So I just wanted to share that as well. There is a new House bill, HB 386, that is going to address intensive family preservation services, and there's funding for that. This legislation would allocate $6.6 million over the next 2 years to expand intervention programs that assist families whose children are at imminent risk of removal with the goal of preventing placement in foster care. And that's what the summit was about last week. How do we prevent our children from even having to go in foster care, and if they go, remaining in foster care too long? That's it. Any questions?
Thank you for all you've done. I tell you, I learned a lot prior to the meeting. And again, just pointing out the fact that a lot of what we do here is really geared towards child protection and how do we serve the youth in our community, how do we get them back into a stable environment, whether it be with their parents, adoptive parents, foster parents, but stabilizing them to where they're good and they can function. It was great hearing from a young man who was going through the system and his tips to us on what we should be looking out for as well.
And so one of the things that he mentioned, and it's not the first time that I've heard it, because at least once a year, I come to the meeting of our links group that we have with our youth in foster care, and I ask them, tell me what we can do differently. How can we help you? What's going on? And they are brutally honest. And one of the things that I keep hearing, we are aware of, and we are going to work on addressing better, is that preparedness for the next step. He talked about the reality of life even. He said if he knew, certain things, he might not have made the choices he made or went down the path that he went down. And so we will be paying attention to what he said and what some of our other youth are saying. And now that we're getting that older group in, that 18 to 21, some of their needs are a little different, of course, than 15 to 18. And so it's going to be a great opportunity for us to just add some more things in place that can help them as they transition to adulthood and out of foster care, and the support that we provide. We get them prepared for the real world, if you will.
I appreciate you all employing the lean techniques here as well. It's so important that we keep up with the times and as things evolve, we must evolve as well.
Yes.
We had a report yesterday at our commissioners meeting where I guess our engineering department, our 911 department, emergency management department is looking at incorporating cell phones more into the first 911, and it dawned on me that there's so many of the younger people that don't have a home phone. And so it's so important we listen to the pulse of our community, the pulse of those that are coming in here to adapt the services that we provide to make sure we're meeting their needs and not just having a system in place that we think works, but that works for the people. Our community involved. Any other comments from our board? And if there's nothing else for the good of the order, we can adjourn our meeting. Thank you all again.